Hello everybody and welcome to the show. It's a good one because if you have a hearty appetite, you might be interested in this one.
You probably like this one, right?
That's right. I'm Matt Hinkin with Channel 6, Tim Adams with the Knoxville Zoo, and today's subject has to do with animal food and what they eat here at the zoo. You know, they do have to eat a lot of food, and we're going to explore that throughout this half hour.
Got 3 new vocabulary words for you related to what animals eat.
Okay, let's do it.
Herbivore, carnivore, and omnivore. So our 3 words for this week.
Okay,
Do you know what an herbivore eats?
I believe an herbivore probably eats plants.
Right. Now, if we're talking about mammals, you can a lot of times tell an herbivore from a carnivore and an omnivore by the shape of the teeth. If they eat plants, what kind of teeth do you think they'd have?
I would imagine they would have flat teeth. They wouldn't need to bite into any meat or anything, so...
There we go. Now, this is a primate that eats primarily plant material, has the canines mostly for protection, but if you look at all the teeth back behind those canines, everything is flat, like our molars, for grinding up the grain and the leaves and that kind of stuff.
And is that how they would tear the plant material as well, just kind of shred it?
Yep, okay. Absolutely, absolutely. Now, carnivore?
Carnivore, probably, I haven't looked under there, but I bet they're sharp teeth.
That's a meat eater. This is a lion skull. This is actually a replica of one, believe it or not. But yes, you can see that all of the teeth behind the canines are all very sharp and pointed, all made for tearing and ripping. Getting through that meat. And how about an omnivore?
Well, I guess he would have both kinds of teeth.
That's right, he sure would. Eats both plants and meat, like people.
Right.
So would have both kinds of teeth, some of the pointed ones and some of the flat ones, so they can do some grinding and some tearing both.
So all animals are one of these 3 types, is that right?
Mammals.
For the most part.
Group mammals into that group, yeah.
Okay. So they all either eat plants or have to have sharp teeth to tear meat and that sort of thing?
Or eat a little of both.
Okay.
Absolutely. Now, I think we need to get into the specifics about the Knoxville Zoo.
What they eat?
Yeah.
What all these animals eat?
Absolutely. To do that, we need to bring somebody in. Mike, can you come in here? Matt, this is Mike Foraker.
Hi, Mike.
Nice to meet you, Matt.
Nice to meet you.
Mike is the general curator at the zoo. That means that he's in charge of the entire animal collection.
Oh, he's the head cheese then, right?
You can ask him any question you want.
Oh, okay. Here's the first no I want. So you are the one in charge of, you know a little bit about every animal in the zoo, is that safe to say?
Yes, I supervise the animal personnel and the animals under their care.
Is Tim doing his job right?
Let's not talk about that now,
okay.
Matt.
Okay, we won't worry about that. What about food? Are you in charge of ordering, and can you tell us a little bit about how much food and some specifics about what kind of food they eat around?
Yes, I'm directly in charge of the diet department. I have a couple of people in there who assist me in ordering. I generally take care of the food that we order in bulk, in other words, large truckloads that we only order 2 or 3 times a year, and then my assistants in the kitchen, food service area,
sometime and help us unload one of those trucks, Matt.
Takes care of the day-to-day and the weekly orders.
What can you give us some figures about? I know you have to order everything from vegetables to grains to fish to meat.
Right, baby cereals. Generally, we, on our produce, we'll order probably 15 to 20 bushels a week. We're looking at around 200 pounds of horse meat products a day. This is a ground product that's sold to zoos and prepared with vitamins and minerals in it, ready to be fed. Just sort of like a hamburger roll, but for felines and carnivores. The grain, we're using around 5,000 pounds a week right now.
5,000 pounds a week.
An awful lot of hay. We're using 600 bales of hay a month right now.
What in the world do we spend?
Budget-wise right now for the year runs around $145,000. That equates out to roughly $2,600 a week.
That's a lot of money. That's a financial burden. I mean, that's
it really is. It really is. Mike, tell me, how do you decide what an animal eats? I mean, if we get a new animal in, you know, what's the basis for determining the diet?
A lot of that works off of past history from other zoos. If it's an animal that we haven't had before, we will contact the zoo, and generally when an animal is transferred its diet, it's transferred with it as far as a recipe for its diet. This is based on what the animal eats in the wild and what products we have available commercially, which will match that.
So sometimes we have to change a little bit what they've done at another zoo to fit in with what we've got.
Sometimes a change has to be made, and a lot of times it may be just the locale. We may have something that might be better that's more available here in East Tennessee than, say, would be available in Southern California.
Huh.
One of those examples would be, we talked earlier that some people wouldn't think this, but some of those bamboo products you can grow here in East Tennessee, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Right, we grow an awful lot of bamboo in this area for our red pandas, and our climate in the Smoky Mountain region is very similar to the climate where the pandas are found in China. So the bamboo does well.
I want to know how you keep this all straight. I mean, there's an awful lot of animals here, and you have to loads of fish and meat, and how do you keep it all straight? Is it pretty down to a science at this time?
It's generally on a system, an inventory system, and things are ordered on a periodic basis, and then we have different personnel in different departments that keep track of each individual item to make sure we're not running low, and we keep it bought ahead.
It's not one of those things where maybe you have a house pet and you're going to throw the trimmings from the plate out and let them eat. You don't do any of that. You keep it basically, you don't let the visitors feed the animals, any of that.
It's all very carefully prepared and scientifically based diet, and we keep our animals on this diet, and anything abnormal actually interferes with their diet.
You know, Mike, I get off grounds a lot and go out and talk to people, and I always get a lot of people who ask me, do we take the food that the restaurants don't use or that the grocery stores throw away? What's the answer to that?
No, we don't, and the main reason is that we have some of these animals we have a great financial investment in. Some of these animals are the last of their kind in the world, and we just can't take the risk. We feed human quality food. It's checked just as human food would be, and I think you've been touring through our kitchen, and it's just as clean as any restaurant you'll find.
I have one more quick question. In the contact yard back here, they feed grain to them all day long. Do they have another diet in here in addition to just the grain?
Well, they get hay.
Okay.
Just like Mike talked about, and on occasion they'll get treats of fruits and vegetables.
Okay, well, great. That's interesting. I every time I do one of these shows and ask these questions, I learn something new. So